Hello and welcome to World Talks here on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. According to the New York Times and based on anonymous sources, President-elect Donald Trump has advised President Putin of Russia against escalating the war in Ukraine. He also reportedly reminded Putin of the significant US military presence in Europe. The two talked about the goal of achieving peace in Europe, with Trump indicating his desire for a follow-up discussion on the resolution of Ukraine's war soon. Officials in Ukraine have been informed about the call and did not raise any objections to it. The newspaper added, "What is the likely response to Trump's advice, both in Moscow and Kyiv?" Well, to explore this question, we are joined by Oleksiy Goncharenko, Ukrainian Member of Parliament with the European Solidarity Party. He's joining us from Ukraine right now. Oleksiy, welcome to TVP World again, and thank you for taking the time.
Hello.
What do you make of this call, Oleksiy? What do you make of it?
First of all, there is already a statement of Ukrainian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which says that Ukraine never supported the call or objected, but Ukraine never knew about this. So this call is still quite mysterious, because that was information from Washington Post. Maybe then other media also informed about this, but there is no information from team of Donald Trump and from him in person, and there is no information from Putin's administration about this call. So we know very little about this call, only from media, and media is, with all respect to media, but it's not an official source, so we don't know exactly what was said during this possible conversation. But yeah, we know that after election of Donald Trump, in general, I think the world is moving from a kind of a rules-based international order to a deals-based international order. And Donald Trump is going to find a deal with Putin. So if this call really happened, I think that's the first step from Donald Trump trying to find this deal with Putin.
Understood. Okay, so just to be clear, Oleksiy, are you saying that there was no awareness in terms of the Ukrainian leadership of the call, or are you saying that the Ukrainian leadership had not agreed to such a call taking place?
I'm saying that Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine officially stated that there was no agree from Ukraine for this call, and in general, Ukraine never knew anything about this call and still don't know anything about this call.
Okay, understood. Thank you for clarifying. Now, let's move forward for a second on the assumption that this call did take place and that Trump did warn Putin against escalation in Ukraine. What would, and I understand that it may be a hypothetical question, but what do you think Putin's responses might be to that?
Yeah, but when just one clarification, when I'm saying that Ukraine didn't know, I don't mean that Ukraine should know. If Ukraine was discussed, the United States as our ally and Donald Trump as a leader, president-elect of the United States, I hope will inform us. I mean, Donald Trump has all the right to call Putin or to accept Putin's call. That's his right, and he shouldn't ask anybody. But if Ukraine was discussed and been allies of United States of America, we want to know what was discussed about Ukraine.
Understood.
When we're speaking about what Donald Trump said, and if he warned Putin against escalation, that's good. And we really hope that Donald Trump can push Putin towards the peace, how Donald Trump said during the election campaign. So we hope this will happen. But what I can tell you that for the moment, just minutes ago, there was an end of air raid alert in Ukraine where very big number of Russian military fighter jets were in the air, strategic bombarders were in the air, but they didn't launch the missile. So what was it? What was this sign? We don't know. Because usually when they are in the air, there is a missile attack, and Ukraine was prepared for a big, massive missile attack, but it didn't happen. Maybe that's connected with this conversation. Maybe not. I don't know.
Absolutely, if it happened at all, of course. How would you characterize the relationship between President Zelenskyy and President-elect Trump?
I don't know. We know that President Zelenskyy, as you showed it just minute ago, met with Trump in end of September in New York. Also, we know that Trump spoke with Zelenskyy on the phone. Zelenskyy called him to congratulate. Also, we know that Elon Musk was present during this call. There is information that this call lasted for near 30 minutes. So it's probably it was not just congratulation, because for congratulation it's a bit too long. So there is a contact between two leaders, and that is very good. And I hope, and that's very important. If I am sure that Donald Trump wants to fulfill what he said during election campaign, also about ending the war in Ukraine. And for this, he needs Ukrainian participation.
Understood. Now, as you say, Trump has famously said that he would end the war in one day, a war that has been going on for 3 years. So some, of course, critical that he'll be able to achieve this. But what do you think might be on the table for negotiations leading to peace, from the Ukrainian perspective?
One day already left, if we're speaking about 1 day from election. From Ukrainian perspective, the just peace is a restoration of international order and international law. It means restoration of Ukrainian territorial integrity and end of Russian aggression. That is just peace. Any other result of hostilities probably would not be a peace, but a ceasefire, especially if it will not be accompanied with security guarantees. Because we know that Russia doesn't care about anything except strong security guarantees, like, for example, and probably for the moment the only one, it's the NATO membership. Because Russia is not attacking Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Poland, but just because of one thing, because these countries are members of NATO. And and Russia attacked Ukraine, despite all agreements between our countries, all international treaties signed and ratified by Russia, and guarantees which were given as a part of Budapest Memorandum and so on. But Russia doesn't care about anything except force, and now they see the force only from NATO countries.
Understood. Now, some commentators are saying that one option that Trump may put on the table is to give up Ukrainian land in the east in exchange for accelerated membership of NATO. What do you think of that possibility?
First, what does it mean to give up Ukrainian land? No one in the world can give up and to give Ukrainian land to Russia. Even the most powerful person in the world, who is definitely President of the United States of America. But it's Ukrainian land, not American, not any other country, and it's definitely not Russian. And Ukrainians never ever will agree that this land is occupied, that this land is part of Russia. That will never happen. Another question is how Ukraine is going to reclaim these territories. And we should be frank here that without American military support, at least for the moment, we are not able to reclaim it by military force. That's also true. So I don't know how it will look like. But again, I need to tell you one thing which is very important for me and millions of Ukrainians. We will never accept the fact that this territory is Russian. Like the world never accepted occupation of Baltic states, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, by Soviet Union. So all these 40 years, when they were occupied more than 40 years, almost 50 years, the world was just never accepting this fact. And when these countries finally liberated, for example, diplomatic relationships with them were not established but renewed. That's important.
Understood. Now, another option. You've taken the possibility of Ukrainian land being handed over to Russia, but another option might be Trump saying to Putin, "Well, if you don't evacuate Ukrainian land, well, I will arm Ukraine so powerfully that your soldiers won't have a chance." Do you think that has any possibility as a proposal?
Being an Ukrainian, I think for me personally and for all Ukrainians, that's the perfect way how Donald Trump, from our opinion, should act. And that's also the best option from the point of view of international order. Because if Putin can attack other countries and control their territories, why other dictators, authoritarian regime leaders can't do the same? So what will be the world, how the world would look like if some things like this would happen? So that's the best scenario. But how in reality Donald Trump will act, I don't know.
Understood. Well, Oleksiy, most of us are in the dark on this one, and I guess we'll find out as time passes. Thank you very much for coming along and sharing your insights. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you.
And that's all from us in this episode of World Talks. Goodbye for now.